Hey, we take feedback seriously here, and we have been listening to you guys, and there's one thing that keeps coming up every episode. You guys say that the sting, it's too long. So we take that feedback on, like any team, and we say to you, we're going to double it. We feel like you guys love it. So Ollie, double the sting for them.
Let's go.
Hey guys, welcome to the Dan Does Footy podcast. You can find more of Dan Does Footy on the website, Spotify, YouTube, and socials. It's off. See ya. There was heaps of sick kids, and I was like, where are they? Kick him harder. Kick him all harder. Punch him in the face. I'm bloody horizontally trained, if you get what I mean. Boner. Tough crowd today. Should we say this is the line? If you don't hear the next bit, it's over the line? Okay, so you don't hear the round one is here, ladies and gentlemen. The real round one. And opening round was a bit of a flat pancake. Are we good here? You make me nervous when you look away.
Oh, so do I have to have 100% eye contact the entire time?
You look very nervous then.
No,
okay?
I don't feel nervous at all.
Okay, good.
I know you're, somewhat of a celebrity, but I'm not that nervous.
No, I'm not. Round one's here, and how good is it? The feeling in Melbourne, if you're not in Melbourne, you won't understand what's happening here. There's just it's a bubbling under the surface feeling going on down here. You walk past people and you're like, oh, I know that guy. He goes for Collingwood, or that guy goes for St Kilda, or that guy's with the Bulldogs. Bit of rivalry and tension building in Melbourne already, and it's just leading to one point, which is tonight. Am I right when I say that?
Correct. Yeah. Tonight.
Smart. Tonight is a big. The real season starts in 5 months of just as a supporter. Is my team going to be good? I've waited 5 months for this, or is my team going to let me down and I'm in for a long year?
Yeah.
A long year.
When you said that, God, that brings me back to when you're a kid coming over from Hobart to Melbourne for a St Kilda game, for example, and you're on the train or you're on the tram, wherever you're going to the game. And I remember looking around going, right, if it all kicks off, like terrorist attacks or something, I reckon I could hold that person's hand because they've got a St Kilda scarf on. Do you know, like...
That's pretty random that your head went there.
Yeah, but like to your point, like when you're walking around going,
yeah, like
we don't know anything about each other.
No.
But if it all kicked off, I'm with you.
I'm with you.
And you're with me.
And I'm going to war with you guys. When I see supporters, for example, a Carlton home game Thursday tonight is like, we're going home together. We're going to sit down and we're all one family.
Yeah.
Or you're a Hawks fan or whatever it is. You see the family again.
Yeah.
Everyone bring the family back. It's been a long 5 months. Let's have a reunion.
Party on Lygon.
Party on. I just want to, something I'm going to flag early here is the arse tap dead?
Oh.
I haven't seen many taps on the arse this preseason. Remember back in the day, arse taps were big.
I don't think they're dead, are they?
I don't know. I think we're telling the players they can't do a lot of things. I think they're confused. They can't even give the boys a cheeky arse tap anymore. I haven't seen an arse tap in a long time. I've seen pats on the head. Yeah. I've seen pats on the back, but I've not seen an arse tap in a long time.
Do we do arse taps maybe to start the podcast, just to try and get that back into
You want to touch my arse?
Well, you can touch mine.
Yeah, I think I'm into that.
Yeah.
We should do like a naked podcast or something.
Yeah, like we don't even have to bring
no cameras or anything.
Cameras
no
or
mics.
microphones.
That'd
even.
be sick.
Yeah.
I think I want to do an arse tap count. If you see an arse tap over the round of footy, because I'm concerned that it's dead.
Yeah.
I did not see one in round zero at all.
So we're starting to, when we had Leggy on, we discussed the idea of a new category of time on screen stats.
Yes.
So we've got that, and now we've got arse taps.
Mm-hmm. I think so. I think the new categories that we take to champion data.
Yeah.
I would love to see a lot of arse taps. I'm going Thursday tonight. I'm going tonight. So I'm going to do a bit of an arse tap count.
Ooh.
And see how many I can see in the flesh.
Are you not going to do them at the game?
I'll be doing so many at the corner.
You are? Yeah, right.
I'll be at the corner from around 4:30. If you come and give me an arse tap, I'll buy you a beer. That is a very exclusive offer for Dan Does Footy podcast listeners only.
Do they have to maybe use a code?
No.
Okay.
But it's very like it's almost assault as well, or what's the word I'm looking for?
No, assault works.
Physical, sexual assault.
Yeah.
It's borderline sexual assault, but also complimentary. You're part of the community. So feel free to sexually assault me with a little ass tap and you might get a beer out of me at the corner. Before we get into the round of footy, because we're going to do a big preview, and I really got a lot to say this round because there's a bit happening, obviously. But the AFL average earnings came out for execs, AFL execs, the players, and assistant coaches. And I, for one, was shocked about how much the AFL execs are earning. So pre-COVID, AFL execs were earning $880,000. A lot of cheese. I would love $880,000. AFL players pre-COVID were earning on average $363,000.
Wow.
On average. And on average, AFL assistant coaches were earning $180,000. Come out of post-COVID. How much do you reckon the AFL execs are earning now?
Well,
Post-COVID, you would have thought they're putting the game first.
Yeah.
Back into the soft cap, whatever that is.
As a real, as a dreamer that I am, I think post-COVID world, you'd like it to be, if it's 880,000 back to maybe 600 at least.
Because we all took a hit during COVID, didn't we?
Everyone took a massive hit.
I was a tradie during COVID.
Really?
You think I look good with a nail and a hammer in my hands?
Yeah,
I had
would've.
no idea what I was doing out there on site.
You would look good though.
I look so good. I had a good tan.
Yeah.
Post-COVID, AFL execs on average are earning $1.36 million. That's a 54% pay rise. What league in the world is the execs being paid more than the players on average? Because the players out of COVID are now earning on average $425,000.
Mm-hmm.
Assistant coaches are learning less now than they were pre-COVID at $171,000 on average. What other league do we have where the AFL execs are taking all the coin from the players and getting paid more than the players, and they're not even taking any of the physical risk? Is that just wild to you?
It is. It's very college sport in America, though, like the American football and NCAA, that kind of thing.
To get paid more. Well, the players can't get paid in the NCAA, can
but
they?
everyone within the system does.
Does,
yeah.
and they're
But
not getting paid, but it's like country footy.
Yeah.
No one's getting paid here.
Oh, yeah.
What's under this table then? Well, there's a lot of coin on that table. Trust me, I used to be one of those guys. I was signing on for days. I signed on like 5 country teams one day.
Really? Did you play for any of them?
Oh, God, no.
Yeah,
God,
no.
no. It's just sign on money. It was too good to refuse. So that came across my desk. I was like, that is just wild that they're getting paid that much money and the players aren't getting a bigger slice than what they should. Yeah. Didn't take long for this to happen. Round 1, the season's here, and we've got trade rumours already. Jay Clark's kick. Well done, Jay Clark, for kicking it off. Didn't take long. Jay Clark reckons Clayton Oliver is going to Geelong. And nothing says footy is back like a round 1 trade rumour. I tell you that much. So Geelong are now in the hunt for Oliver and Bailey Smith.
Round 1.
Let's just calm it down a bit.
Having said that, behind closed doors, you would imagine that those sort of conversations probably are starting to happen, right?
I mean, there'd be seedlings being sprinkled.
Like
I don't
you
know
would
if
have
they're
to.
going to managers saying, hey, I know there's 25 games remaining plus from finals, but do you reckon he'd want to come to Geelong?
Yeah.
Oliver doesn't leave Geelong, if anyone cares what I think.
He doesn't
leave Melbourne, sorry.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Well, it depends if because you still like him for the Brownlow this year, don't you?
He had 30 on the weekend.
Yeah.
Off to a good start.
So if he's doing that sort of,
If he's averaging 30 for the year, he'll win a Brownlow.
Yeah, wow.
It'd be hard to deny that.
Yeah.
Mason Cox was the big news story of the week. We now know what happened. Ball goes up. Mason's doing his ruck stuff. Asks the umpire, can you please throw it up again? I want to have a look at this thing. My glasses are a bit foggy.
Sure.
He says, my glasses are fogging up. Can you throw it up again? Umpire throws it up. GWS move in. He gets under mummy, taps it down. Let's just go crazy. We went a bit crazy on Monday's episode, didn't we?
I don't know if we went crazy. I think it was justified.
I think it was.
I think it's fine.
So, a bit of a storm in the teacup there. Just don't push plays. If you want to do that, Mason, go to the wing and do it. Go to the forward 50 and do it.
Only thing I want to say is I'd like to see the uncut version where you then saw 3 or 4 GWS players swoop in and around him. I didn't see that, to his point.
Well, yeah, I think it just comes down to don't act like a Cox in there,
Sure.
Like you don't need to do that stuff. But just once you're done, don't ask the umpire for one more. Go ask the water boy for one more.
Yeah.
You don't need to do that again.
Cox head.
We cleared it up, and he's got big issues. Does he play this week? Or Meso? He only had 5 touches. I don't know. He might have big issues.
He would have been dropped for less than that.
Mate, I had 15 and a goal against Melbourne in round 1 year and got dropped.
Well, there you go.
And I was in the best players, which is even worse. Before we get in the round, DDF rank or stank, we're going to rank the top 4 teams here, and then we're going to rate what stank this week in the world of footy. Rank, Giants, number 1. Just dismantled the Collingwood Magpies, so you can't not have them number 1. Number 2, Carlton. Come from 46 points back and you win that game, you deserve to be number 2. Got that absolute dog in him. Sydney, number 3, and Gold Coast, number 4. What stank this week for mine? Round 0. this fixture is cooked now. It didn't click for me that the fixture's now everywhere because you've got
Are affected.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I obviously knew that what would happen, but I didn't realize how screwed up the fixture now is. So you got teams who have played a round of football, cobwebs fully out, rust out, and get to load up and go again and learn from mistakes against teams who are just coming to the start line. That's such an unfair advantage. It's such an unfair advantage.
Yeah, it makes no sense from so many different levels.
I want to know who greenlit that. That's all I want to know. We could pull them out. Public execution.
Oh,
That's probably extreme, actually.
just a public pantsing or something, maybe.
Yeah, pantsing. Yeah, a public whizzy.
Yeah.
The Journos, stank, number 2 for mine. Had a bad week, the Journos. Bad week. Sam McClure has made possibly every call under the sun about Carlton. So how is he not going to get it wrong this year?
That's true.
It's wild. They had a bad week, the Journos. I watched AFL 360 for all of 3 minutes last night.
Oh, how was it?
Horrible. Really hard watch.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Jared's on the ban list from listening to the pod, but Robbo made it very hard to watch.
Just his energy or his...
Just his demeanour. I didn't even know if he knows where he is at the moment.
No.
Which I feel it's actually not even taking. I know that sounded funny. I'm not trying to take the piss out of him. He is like, I don't know. He's weird at the moment.
Yeah.
The way he's talking, his delivery. I know he had a health scare, but it's actually horrible to have him on national television.
Yeah.
You can't have him on. It's just I felt bad for him. So I hope that Fox Footy sorts this out because it's not a good watch at the moment. And Stone and Woods at the Gabba. Can't have that. Someone did confirm that there is no Carlton on tap at the Gabba. There is Stone and Wood on tap at the Gabba.
I saw that. That was a huge confirmation.
Crazy. I don't know how they do it in
Do you
Brisbane.
like it in general? It's but having said that, I reckon I've only ever had maybe 2 pints of it.
You'd love an XPA or an IPA.
No, that's just because I've got a bun.
Yeah, and mushroom picking.
And mushroom picking.
Yeah.
No, but I think all of that's really nice, but really the lid is kind of 2 pints. It's like a Guinness.
One. After your first pint, you need a knife and fork to get that thing down.
Yeah, that's true.
It was hard. So back of the G where the Carltons will be rolling around. Before we get into the real round 1 review, and I had a horrible week last week. I only got 1 right. You reckon you got 4 right, which is just such a lie.
Well, someone called me a liar on YouTube. I 100% tipped.
Who do you think you tipped? Off the cup right now, go.
So I know I'm going to put my hand up and say I did get 1 wrong. But it wasn't the one that they suggested. I did tip Melbourne over Sydney. Sorry.
See?
Sydney over Melbourne. That was 100%. Got that one right.
Yeah.
I got Carlton, Brisbane wrong. I tipped Brisbane. That was my mistake. But got GWS and the Suns.
Well, I'm going to be honest and say I got 1 right.
Right.
So you reckon we're 1 and 3?
1 and 3.
Okay. Second round, second game up for some of these players. Thursday night, MCG, back to the old office for me. And you know what they say? Or you know what I say when at the G? There's nothing like a nice cold beer after a nice cold beer. I'm going to use that heaps at the G. I love footy. I love going Thursday night, just having a few at the corner, then rolling down and leading a march into the G. This game last year was a draw, so I'm nervous. This isn't a sure thing for the Blues here. I think everyone thinks that Carlton are going to roll in and just carry on from the second half, but I don't know. This game makes me really, really nervous. I do know that Richmond would have started taking some Panadol for the headaches that Harry and Charlie are going to give them.
Mm-hmm.
That's a sure thing. And I keep saying it. If they're leaving Young and Gibcus down there on Harry and Mackay, we've got issues at Richmond. Real issues. No Doherty, which means you think a Candy or maybe you start wheeling Zach Williams back into the midfield now that he's had 1 under his belt. Mm-hmm. And Jesse Motlop could come in, but I don't think he does. I think that team stays very unchanged. My big call of the week over any game, Orazio is going to light up the G.
Ooh, I love that.
I think he's going to have a real statement game. 90,000 the G, everyone watching. He knows they're watching. Prime time.
Yeah.
And he goes, I'm Orazio. Remember me? 2+ goals.
I mean, he was one of the more interesting pickups I've seen in the last few years.
I think it's a good, if it works.
Obviously,
it's going to be an unbelievable pickup.
Risk free though, right? Like in general.
Course.
Yeah. So it's genius.
It's costing him nothing, like them nothing to have him there.
He's
and
paying them. He's paying them.
He'll be on matches for sure.
Yeah.
That means that it's just literally a free hit for him.
How good.
Richmond, Lynch, Nank, Martin, we think all return. If Lynchy, I swear to God, Uze, if Lynchy returns, I would be shocked. He hasn't played since round 4 last year. And I watched him run on Channel 9 News in the sports break, or whatever they call it, sports news.
Yeah.
and he was running. He was running like he was thinking about how to run.
How to run.
It was very robotic, and it's got more robotic the more surgeries he's had. Please don't play. I'm begging you, Richmond. Adam Uze, if you listen to this podcast, which you probably play to the boys before the game, do not play Lynchy. And if you do, this is a huge insight to where we think Richmond's at. Yeah. This is a panic button, and we're pressing it right now in round 1.
How did you think his body looked when you saw him running, just in general? Did he look fit and ready, or did he look a bit...
He always looks fit and ready. He's got his metabolism. He's a hot guy, you know? He's got muscles. He's big. He doesn't have a big chest, but he's got big arms and shoulders. But he was running like he was processing left foot, right foot. How's my foot feeling? Left foot, right foot. How's my foot feeling? Okay, don't press off this part of my foot. Like, it was very robotic, and that concerns me. As I keep saying, that footy that in the forward line doesn't get delivered like it does in rehab. There isn't a coach there just kicking it lace out to you and you're feeling good and you can turn like a truck. It doesn't happen in footy. There's going to be balls over his head. He's going to be pressing off different parts of his body. Am I the only one worried about this?
No, well, you don't have time to think about left foot, right foot, do you?
No. The main movers, Richmond, got to get moving. Taranto, Hopper and Pressia was smacked last week. Martin comes back, puts Shai Bolton into the midfield. So in saying all that, Carlton at the line of 16.5 for me.
Yeah.
You?
I like Carlton in this one too.
Yeah, so you pin Carlton as well.
Yeah.
Friday night footy, back at the G. The G's getting an absolute workout this round. Collingwood v Swans, unveiling the flag. Mason's probably fired up. They'd be foaming at the mouth to turn this around on Friday after a real reality check last week. And nothing better than a hangover than someone nagging you the next day. So Fly would be in their ear this round. He'd be saying, boys, that was horrible what we've served up. And the Pies fans, the Army deserves better. And I look at the team and I go, maybe you guys are a bit too small up forward. They don't have they don't have a big target up there. I think they're too small. Maybe I've identified it early. Too small up there. I don't think Mason plays, honestly. I think they bring in Reef McInnes. Give this forward line something different. Give it a new attack. I don't like it.
It's a statement to Mason if he's dropped. Serious statement.
He's made a lot of statements.
Yeah, that's true. And you know how he'll respond to that statement?
On his podcast. Yeah, podcast. Yeah. Sydney roll into town. Grundy rolls back into town. And does he declare vintage Grundy? Another redemption game against an old team. If he has a game like he did last week, I am putting my hand up. I'm saying I was wrong. This is a glass of vintage Grundy.
Do you think if we had to get inside Brodie's head, would he be more fired up for the Melbourne game or the Collingwood game?
Oh, Collingwood at the G.
Yeah.
Because Melbourne was just like sorry, we can't fit you with Gorney, but this is like a real, you guys told me to go.
Yeah.
And now I'm back on your deck and you got a flag? You're rubbing that flag in my face?
That's true.
That should be my flag. He's going to roll in. That's his mindset. I want Logan McDonald to show me what he's got as well. Kicked 32 goals last year, a pick 4. Let's stand up, Logan. No buddy. This is your forward line. Our boy Nasser, Errol, he's going to return.
Nasser?
Yeah.
Yeah. Only good in space? Yep. Very good.
Space. Nasser's going to have a big back. We did tell everyone that he is going to average around or more than 25 a week. He had 20 last week, so we need Nasser to get moving there. And the Swans, they're young and hot. They're young and they're red hot. Some really good-looking roosters in that team.
I'm learning so much about you in the 4 weeks that we've done this show that it is quite important to just look at the looks, you think?
I think it plays a big role in morale.
Definitely.
When you look around the change room and you go, these guys are muscly, they've got a good tan, and I'm not the hottest guy in the room. That's the mindset you'd want as a player at Sydney.
Yep.
I know they talk about the Bloods culture and how they want to buy into that, but I'd be drafting on looks at Sydney.
Certainly in Sydney, in New South Wales.
It's tough.
Possibly the Gold Coast as well.
Down at Bondi, and you tell a girl that you play for Sydney and you look like a half-chewed minty, that's not going to fly in the Sydney change rooms.
Yeah, you're already behind in Sydney because you play AFL.
True.
You've got that to contend with.
True. So I think still Collingwood bounce back. You can't unveil a flag and not have a win. You just can't. You?
100%. It's all theirs.
Yeah. Quick break here. I don't ask for much, but I am asking you guys to please do me a favor and follow, subscribe on whatever platform you're listening on right now to join the community, join something we're building here. When you do that, it helps all of us here build an amazing show for you guys. It allows us to get more guests because they see the ratings and the follows and all these numbers and they go, wow, I don't want to miss out on this opportunity. So please, takes 2 seconds to do it right now. Obviously, if you're not driving, even if you are driving, pull over and do it. Follow, subscribe. Thank you so much. Back at the G again, 3 in a row. Essendon v Hawks. I have no idea what either team is going to be this year. I literally have no idea. I was big on Essendon day one, but you know when you look at something for a long time and then you're like, I am starting to see things that I don't like here anymore. That's how I feel about Essendon. Went shopping in the off-season, bought all these new toys to put in the premiership puzzle.
Few old toys.
Goldstein, where's that footy?
Where's that foot right there?
As I said, if Goldstein gets selected, I will attempt to eat this football next week. If Draper and Goldstein play in the same team, I would be amazed. You saw what happened with Grundy and Gawn.
Yeah.
Drapes we love. He's young and he's hot and he's a young bull. But Goldstein does not move like a Grundy or a Gawn anymore.
Yeah.
I would be no, it can't work. It cannot work.
I like it. Are you bringing a knife and fork?
If he plays, I'm bringing a knife and fork and I'll have an attempt to eat this football. Essendon are all in this year. They have to be. They went and spent the money. They went and got a new fullback who's going to be busier than a cucumber in a woman's prison. So this has got to work for them. Hawks, I don't know. They don't have the team to compete here this year.
Oh, that bizarre injury stretch they went on in pre-season.
Bizarre.
Like just bang, bang, one after the other. No.
You can't question. I haven't questioned their effort once at Hawthorn.
Yep.
Not once. But they just don't have the team to win right now. They're going to give the young players a lot of games this year, and then the next 2 years, that's when they'll start making their move. Essendon at 4.5 is a line. I'll take that every day of the week.
I'm just going to go against you, try and get one up. I'm going to go Hawthorn.
Wow, I'm going
and
Essendon.
Plucky. I reckon Young and Plucky overturns a team of mismatch, sort of motley crew, don't really know what they're doing yet kind of game.
It is very motley crew.
Yeah.
I agree with that. NG Stadium, Giants v North on the Saturday as well. What is NG Stadium? Do we know what NG is?
Well, they're just making it up at that point.
They are, NG. Giants could win this by 80 to 100 points if they're half serious here. They looked like they were playing a different sport at Collingwood for a half. They could really just dismantle the Kangaroos in round one, and Callum Brown, his taxi song might play 10 times.
Sydney Olympic Park, just quietly, I've just done the Googling there, is NG Stadium.
Yeah, they've renamed it, but what's NG itself?
Engineering of some kind.
You've just made that up.
No.
Is it actually?
It's Engineering Park, I believe.
Wow. I tell you who
It's probably not.
I tell you who the best, Kane's all over. I tell you who the best.
There you go, Sustainable Energy Solutions.
Is it actually NG?
Yeah.
Wow.
Told you, engineering.
Wow. I wish I could buy a stadium. If I ever, so help me God, if I ever get rich enough to buy a stadium, you guys are so fucked. We're going to watch the game this week. Oh, I'm going on the cum bucket to watch the game. Where the Blues play in the cum bucket. And a few beers at the cum bucket. Yeah, easy. Cum bucket stadium. I love the best performer at the Giants right now is their social team. They just want it more right now. They really just want it more. And the people on their team, they give more than anyone else gives.
Well, it's one of the major positives about being a new team where you don't have any restrictions. You're not a Collingwood that would be smashed left, right and centre for doing different things.
Corporates.
And it's exciting me. I hope whoever's going to be in charge of that at the new Tassie side, I hope they spend pre-season with GWS.
Under their wing.
They
have to go under the wing.
Yeah.
Especially early when we're trying to figure out which players we like, personality-wise, what works they have.
That's the other thing. We might not even know them.
Just the insight you get with the Giants, it's unmatched.
Yeah.
They just want it more. Clarko is going to have a gag on him at quarter-time breaks, the AFL said, so he doesn't go rogue as again. And the positive for Kangaroo fans is they're going to have throbbing boners because Dersma and McKercher play this week. And I think Dersma is going to be a real player. He excites me out of everyone in the draft pool this year.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, he excites me a lot.
Wow.
Yeah, more than anyone.
What does it for you?
The way he moves.
Yeah.
He moves like a Bont, but he's playing forward.
Yeah.
And so watch Dersma. But let's be honest. Let's call it as it is. North are getting slaughtered here, aren't they?
Yeah, 100%.
Slaughtered. The line is 46.5 points here. Giants are a sure thing. I'm taking Giants to the line, and I think the line is generous to North.
What would you have it at?
Mate, 100.
Yeah.
It could be 46.5 at quarter time.
Do you really think so? Okay. All
North, right. I really think it could be the line at half at quarter time. GMHBA Stadium, thank God they have some fucking seats in the stadium now. So I don't have to watch this shit show of a stadium on TV and be flat when I'm watching the game. It's about time.
Yeah.
It's been horrible to watch.
You can't be kicking to the construction end for too many more years.
Literally. I can't look at concrete, just slabs for that much longer. So I'm glad that they've got some seats there. The fans will roll in. Do you know they serve oysters there?
No.
What are the stadiums doing? We've got Stone and Woods at the Gabba and we've got oysters at JMHBA.
I think you can get some really nice curries at Adelaide Oval. Like quite nice.
Yeah, we got shakes all in the head. Yeah, we can.
So there you go.
Curries.
Yeah, but like not just a butter chicken, like something.
So are we just pissheads in Melbourne and we just love cold Carltons?
I think it might be. Cold Carltons, cold pies and cold
It tells you a
hot
lot
dogs.
about where you're at, with what's being served at the stadium. Stone and Woods, very Queenslandy. The oysters in Geelong, which is just wild. Curries in Adelaide.
Yeah.
And just pissheads at the G.
Which reminds me, I know you don't really like to leave the MCG too much if you don't have to, which is fair enough. Have you bought food at Marvel in the last couple of years with those, what do you call them, like canteen areas where you don't
have to pay for anything?
It is the weirdest thing I've ever done in my life.
Normally I'm in a corporate bit, so I don't pay for anything anyway.
Sure.
So
it's a similar thing.
Normally I feel like I honestly don't reckon. Sometimes I forget my wallet when I go to the game. Like, oh, will I need that? Oh, no, I won't.
Probably not.
No, probably not. No, I have seen those though. And there's a restaurant inside Marvel.
There is.
What's it called again?
I'm not sure what the restaurant's called, but I think for food, and I genuinely think for food, it's probably the only thing that Marvel's got over the MCG. Like
Marvel's a hard travel.
It's the worst.
For a spectator.
It's not
cold
not
as well. Cold as well. Geelong, back to Geelong, the Oysters. Geelong are a decent team, but they're old as shit.
Mm-hmm.
Let me read these ages out to you. Dangerfield, 33. Duncan, 32. Hawkins, 35. Stanley, 33. Tui's 34. Rowan, 32. Blitzarv's 32. I'm 31 and I'm so fucking sore all the time and I don't even run 10Ks a day.
Mm.
Surely Hawkins is just so over football at 35 years old.
Oh, he'll play like plugger this year. He'll just 5 meter radius of movement.
Just what he has to. That's an old. Last year was the first year when I looked at Geelong and said, "You guys look slow now." Like everyone said it was coming. It was coming in 2022. They win the flag. Everyone's like, "We're not going to age," and they took the piss out of us at Mad Monday by dressing up as elderly people. Last year, I looked at you and I said, "You guys, you old as shit."
Yeah.
So I still think somehow they can win this game because they got Jeremy Cameron.
Well, I think it's probably the only benefit looking at this from a St Kilda's perspective is that Ross Lyon wants a team that can run fast and run all game long.
Do you reckon the boss is picking a running team?
He always does anyway.
You have to make it a track meet against Geelong, I reckon.
Totally.
Yeah.
Because I think some of those names you read out there are going to be very difficult for St Kilda to get on top of in a one-on-one as it is. But if they can run rings around them, then it could be Saints' game.
Well, yeah. I mean, Jimmy won't be playing, so he's out. He's going to take a decent rest. Yeah. And then the players will be pumped for the season start except for Jimmy. Darcy Wilson. Tell us about Darcy Wilson. You're a Saints man here.
I don't know anything about Darcy Wilson.
What? You go for St Kilda.
Does he play for St Kilda?
Yeah, he does, mate. He's making his debut.
Well, there you go. I don't know anything about it.
Okay, would you know that there's no Butler, Howard, Sinclair, Hunter Clark or Windhager?
I didn't know all of that.
So you're the St Kilda guy here. What do you think's going to happen this week? You tell us honestly from St Kilda fan, and don't go into full nuffy mode and blow smoke up our ass. Give us a real honest a look at it.
Dan, I'm an employee of the St Kilda Football Club now, so I would need to answer as how a player would answer.
Yes.
I think we're stuffed.
You reckon?
Yeah, we're not winning this game. But it did make me think, when it comes to our tips, do you think it's un-Australian not to tip your team week in, week out? Because I will be tipping St Kilda because it feels I can't do it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I
think as someone who supports a team, no matter who you go for, no matter who you're playing, you put your fork in the ground and you say, I'm with this.
You have to.
This is my ship.
Yeah.
It's very Is it un-Australian? Is that what you're saying? Do you want to say that or not?
It feels un-Australian.
It does.
It feels like you're not, if you're giving way on the road and you don't put your bunny fingers up to say thank you. Like that's fucked.
You can't
do that.
With them. You have to back them in. I mean, last year when the Carlton ship was getting rocky, I almost jumped off.
Yeah.
Very close to
I think it's
off.
fair enough if you're in a a really tight tipping competition and you go for West Coast, fair enough if you don't want to tip them because you're going to be, quite a few points down. But I don't know, it just feels weird for me. So I think they'll struggle, but I'll be tipping St Kilda.
Okay, well, I'm going Geelong.
Yep.
I'm going Geelong. 2-goal favourites, and I don't have a reason not to back them. They've got seats. They've got oysters. Yeah, their players are old, but they've got seats and oysters, and that's good enough for me.
Nature's aphrodisiac, baby.
True. People's Choice Stadium. What is that? What are we naming these stadiums? Where's the cum bucket stadium? If you're telling, what is People's Choice?
Is it a bank?
It sounds banky.
Yeah,
it's a bank.
I think it's a bank.
It's banky. But last week when I said I don't know what the Suns are, I found out that they got some dogs in them. Rowell, dog. King, dog. Lukosius, dog. Ainsworth, dog. Flanders, dog. Humphreys, dog. Dimmer, dog.
That's a full kennel.
Everything we saw in preseason that I came on this podcast and said to you guys, I said they looked like the worst team of all preseason. I didn't back them. That was a lie. They lied to us. And now they're getting better and the AFL's looking after them with a 8:10 p.m. start time. AFL, you may as well put that ball in a bucket of soap and say, let's play with this thing. Because the Suns know how to at this point.
Can I confirm with you, with Matt Rowell, we now know he does indeed have a dog, which is the most important thing. But you would imagine his dog is different to like a Maynard dog, right? So what breed of dog does Rowell have? Because I would imagine Maynard's is more of a traditional pit bull type.
I think Maynard's dog would be, we're saying pit bull?
Yeah, or like a boxer maybe.
I think Rowell's dog, not as aggressive as that, but just gets to work. Almost like a greyhound, like a good greyhound. Won a few races. It's confident. It's probably still racing.
Yeah.
That's his dog.
I've got a bit of sheepdog kind of vibe about him.
Really?
Yeah.
Like a border collie?
Like a border collie or just like an Australian.
What dog do you think I have in me? And be honest.
Well.
Don't say cavoodle or something.
No. To be honest, I'm going to match your greyhound, and I'm going to say greyhound, but for different reasons. Sleep a lot.
Okay, I don't sleep actually at all. Tall.
Quick.
I'll be a Doberman.
Okay. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you'd be like a cat. That's always, like you'd be like Garfield, I think.
Can I not?
You'd be a high version of Garfield. Instead of Garfield always being hungry, you'd be like, ooh, mushies.
Can I not have coined the phrase, I've got that cat in me?
You do.
I've got
Ollie's
that
got that
pussy
cat
in
in him,
me.
guys. Ollie, you have that cat in you. I think that's a fair assumption.
Okay.
Yeah, bring that back. The Suns were too good last week. 8:10 p.m. start time. All the stars are aligning here. They got dogs in them running around. Adelaide, first look at Flag Crom. I like you, Adelaide, but I don't see it. Am I blind here with seeing what everyone else is saying about Adelaide, about making finals? I don't.
I like them for sneaking in, but they're probably 2 or 3 years off being genuinely competitive. But I think they've made a lot of ground in the last couple of years where that rebuilding process has not taken as long as a lot of other teams would take.
Well, yeah, I agree with you. I think Matty Nix has done a great job. Yep. He's put that on in the fast lane and said, let's get this up a couple of years. But last year, they were horrible travellers. They hated travelling. Great for the velocity points, but when they got there, they didn't even check in for the business trips.
No.
Tex cannot carry them again. And I love Tex. I think he's a great player, but he kicked 76 goals last year. Who's up next? Because you wouldn't think he does it again this year. I mean, this is a guy that 3 years ago was going to Collingwood because Adelaide wanted him out.
Yeah. You would imagine that if this isn't the year that a Fogarty doesn't step up, like that's hugely important for mine, I reckon.
Yeah.
Him and Rankin, they've got to take the load off a little bit.
They have to.
Have to.
I'm waiting for Rankin to explode here as well.
Oh, he will.
Just really, because it's been bubbling, a bit like it is in Melbourne at the moment. We're just bubbling on the surface here. I'm waiting for him to go, here we go, and just skyrocket.
Did you go for Adelaide growing up?
I did.
Really?
I did. My mum went for Port.
Yeah.
And they were very tense showdowns.
Yeah, nice.
I'm going to pick Gold Coast here. Favourites. The line here, guys, when I tell you the line, it's the equivalent as me having a set shot from 2 metres out. It's 4.5 points.
Now, this is going to sound really dumb, but I
Don't
think it's
say that.
No. I think it's important for the uninitiated that don't know too much. Can you just explain the line? What is it? So the line is
a handicap that is given to you by our friends at this case, Sportsbet, when they say we think this team handicap would be either plus 4.5 points. We think that's where they're at, or minus 1.5, 4 points. So they're so good when the game starts, they're going to be 4.5 behind.
There you go.
That's
Just thought that was, yeah.
I'm glad because some people won't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So the line here is Gold Coast -4.5. That means when the ball bounces, they are 4.5 points behind. When they kick a goal and they go 6 points up, now they're 2 points ahead. 2.5.
Makes sense.
Thank you. 1.5, sorry. Good maths. Gold Coast at the line, 4.5. That's mine.
Yep, like it. Yeah, there's no way they're losing that one.
No. Sunday in Melbourne, Doggies versus the Demons. And will that Demons have Sunday Demons? And do we have a culture problem still? Maybe Melbourne is starting to question, hey, we've enjoyed football for a long time, but maybe we do like beers. Maybe we like a good time.
It's not a problem if you're awesome at it.
No, if you're the best at it, I would never knock that. Yeah. And they're looking like they're the best beer drinkers in the AFL right now. But I don't know if they can fix this thing this year, because if there is stuff happening that we don't know about, but we've still got vibes coming out of this camp that this off-season is a lot bigger and worse and has rattled the camp than maybe what we thought at the start with. And the only thing that'll fix it is by getting a win.
Well,
winning fixes everything, I was told.
Yes, yeah.
It's the best wallpaper in the world.
It'll certainly fix the court of public opinion. That's for sure. It'll buy them some time to figure things out. But I don't think, we've seen some good teams in the past with terrible cultures, and it unravels pretty quickly.
Well, there's a lot happening. We still have rumours about Goody's job.
Yeah.
Well,
the rumour mill started. We know that. It's round 1.
Oliver's going to Geelong. Yep. Goody, they reckon, is on shaky ground. If they lose this week, and I haven't pressed panic stations on any team yet, but I will question the premiership window closing. And we're starting to bring that window back down. Gawn will come out breathing fire. He looked flat last week. Post-game, he looked really upset with himself. I have no doubt he's going to get them going inside. Doggies, Bontempelli's him. If he doesn't win a Brownlow this year when you're 28 at the peak of your powers, when's it going to be? It's got to be this year. He is so good.
No one's really going to be taking too many points off him at the Dogs, which is like you're going to be your issue at a few other clubs. So
yeah,
it has to be this year. You're right.
Riley Sanders behind Dersma. I love everything he's doing at the moment. His socks up is a little like Jason Horne-Francis, but he's better than Jason Horne-Francis already.
Wow.
He's so good. Have you seen him in the preseason at all?
Do you reckon? A little bit, but better than...
Man, socks up bursting out of a stoppage. Are you kidding me? You're 17 years old. That was crazy. He's that good.
Black shoes, socks up high, tucked in Guernsey. They're the 3 big business time giveaways,
games, and not even a flash haircut. He hasn't got a fade. He hasn't got your faux hawk. He doesn't care for that. He's just saying, listen, I'm a business guy. I put my socks up. I got black boots. I've got a normal haircut, and I'm hot.
It's business time.
That's business. Timmy English decided that he's gonna bet himself this year. I'm gonna bet on myself and I'm gonna collect that bag. Didn't want the Doggies bag. He said, I'm gonna wait. Let me just punt on myself here this year. The only thing that concerns me about the Doggies is the forward line is just a land of giants. Sometimes I look at what's happening out there and I like it. I love Norts. Jamara is a weapon. If he starts wheeling from 55 like a buddy, then we're all in trouble as a league. But then I keep looking and I see Rory Lobb and I go, where are you going? That mix confuses me. And that's why I feel like the Doggies are going to get very much like look up as a midfielder or a defender, see 3 big guys and you just start bombing it up and hoping and praying one takes it.
I think we saw, the likes of like a Cody Waitman kind of easing that though when it is at ground level. Like I think that he's one of my favourite players. I love watching what he does for that Dogs forward line. But I hear what you're saying.
I mean, because there's a difference between we said Collingwood are too small and now we're saying the Doggies are too big.
Yeah.
But Collingwood can, as much as I think they are too small, they can play big as well. And Ash Johnson can take a hanger with the best of them.
Yeah.
My check, if he has to, can post up and play big. The Doggies can't play, Lob can't play small.
No.
Aaron Norton is good on the ground, but he's not amazing. Jamara very much has shown us that he's on a lead and wheeling or clunking on people's heads. So I just got a big concern about what that chemistry looks like.
You know what I'd like to see, because they're so tall, their team photo to be sort of inverted. So Caleb Daniel is standing up at the back.
Yeah, love that.
And then the boys sitting down at the front.
I rate that. Oh, who do I pick here? Last year, Melbourne smacked them by 50 points. That's the last time they played.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't show up last week. Gone breathing fire. I'm back in Melbourne.
I like it. I'm going to go Dogs on this one. I think that probably the Demons are a slightly better team, but I maintained a couple of weeks ago that I wouldn't be surprised if, given what's happening at the Demons, that things start to fall off pretty quickly. Yes, they were pretty good in round 0, but I reckon the Dogs are going to nab them this week.
Okay, I agree. Things are shaky there. Port v West Coast in Adelaide, and no one is giving the West Coast Eagles a chance at all. I say this every year about Port. I say they're going to be legit, and the first 10 rounds come out and they go 10-0 and make me feel like I'm the best person at predicting football or talking about football, and then they just fall off completely. But Ken, you have to get them to a grand final now. You've been driving a Porsche around for the last couple of years, and then you get to finals and the engine falls out of its ass. So we need to see them take the next step.
Yep.
And you get an absolute alley-oop here by getting West Coast at home in round 1.
Big time.
A real percentage booster opportunity. A good game for West Coast this year will be a couple of goals and a 35-point loss.
Okay.
That's probably Adam Simpson saying, we'll take that. We'll go back and review it and let's tick that one off and say
depressing.
Yes. I don't think they win a game until round 13 against North in Perth.
Yeah, okay.
That's this list it stinks. And I don't like using that word a lot. It is horrible.
If I, and I'm not going to put you on the spot like this, but if I got the West Coast list up and just threw a player's name out there, how many would you know, do you think, going into this year?
I watched them against Adelaide. A few. I knew a few.
Yeah.
The rest I don't know at all. Seen play a little bit.
Yeah.
Their forward line is Darling, Oscar Allen, but again, last year they threw him down back because they had to.
Mm-hmm.
If they put Oscar Allen back again as a captain of their footy club, please, like Lynch and Uze, do not do that.
Just
Don't do that to him. He doesn't deserve that.
Yeah.
He doesn't deserve that. Paul Harley-Reid's shoulder's going to be sore. It's going to be like my shoulders, sore from carrying this team. And I'm not putting a line through them this soon, right now, but they've got a quarter to show me why I don't put a line through them.
Through Port Adelaide?
No, through West Coast. You know, I put a line through Hawks.
Yeah.
I saw one quarter of Hawthorn.
But you reckon they're going to win their first game in round 12? 13.
But I want to give them. I don't want to. The easy thing for us to do here is to put a line through them now, because that's low hanging fruit for us.
Totally.
They've got a quarter to show us why we don't put a line straight through them.
Of the first quarter or a quarter?
They've got the first quarter.
Okay.
You've got the first quarter to show us why you don't get that big line through your name. Port Adelaide tear them apart. Give me Port on this one at the line of 47.5.
Yeah.
Do
you reckon that's generous almost?
47.5 in Adelaide?
Yeah.
Come on. Really?
I would argue that Port Adelaide have the best home advantage outside of Melbourne. I think.
A Sunday as well? Pre-graveyard shift, West Coast do not want to be there.
No.
Not in Adelaide like that. So I think Port do that so easily. Then we get to the game we've been looking forward to, the genuine graveyard shift. If you're hungover, if your partner is watching Netflix or isn't watching Netflix and you've got the TV, then tune into a genuine graveyard commentary team. I am so excited to see who's going to deliver this graveyard shift to us. I'm thinking it's a Pavlich. I'm thinking it's a Jared Healy.
Yeah.
Brad Johnson.
Oh, I like it.
Kelly Underwood normally goes in the graveyard.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable.
Hutto,
I don't think he'll travel to Perth.
Yeah, okay.
Dermy normally gets a graveyard.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know if he'll go to Perth.
We love the graveyard. What I'd like to start seeing is, when they announce the team selections for the sides, I reckon they should do that for the commentary.
Who's in the graveyard?
Yeah.
It's so good. I think it's a late, let me see what time this game starts here. 6:50 our time in Melbourne. That is genuine digging grave.
Sunday night footy.
That's digging a grave hour. That is, I know everyone's going to say, all the Perth people are going to go, but it's like 4:50 here. I get that. That's still a graveyard shift. Like it's a late game for you guys, but we do love a graveyard shift. Freo cannot get a read on this team. Got no idea what they're going to give us this year. No Sean Darcy. They make me nervous to pick them, and they haven't done anything wrong. Last year, they lost to North by a point. They got thumped by 70 points to the Giants, And then away from home, they beat Melbourne and Geelong.
So would they be your number one team when looking at things going into round one that if they won, you'd go, okay, I can probably see how that happened. But if they lost, you would also go, yeah, it makes sense. Like we just don't know what they're going to give.
I don't know. I think they lose, but also if they win, I go, kind of could see that because you're familiar with the graveyard shift and you've been there before and you've embraced it as well.
Sure.
You've embraced being a late game that many people probably won't tune into. Brizzy, Neil came out breathing absolute, or he put a firework up his teammate's bum with what he said.
Sparkler bomb.
Yeah, real sparkler bomb. And there's no chance that Fags behind closed doors didn't just rip into him. He would have had to absolutely cut him apart, dissect him. You don't think that the Brisbane Lions are going to come out in the first quarter and just throw a haymaker? Just start throwing haymakers straight away just to shut everyone up and say, hey, last week we know we were up by a lot of points. We could have done it easily, but we put it into third gear. We cruised and then we made it look like fools.
Yeah.
I think they come out and throw haymakers from the start here.
Well, I think, you got to admit the travel doesn't help them. You'd always like to think that any team going to Perth, it's somewhat difficult, but they're one of the teams talked about at the start of the show that the cobwebs totally gone. They know
Second half cobwebs.
Well, they're somewhat there, but they know what they did wrong. You would like to imagine, so they're going to come out firing.
They're a serious outfit still. I just think Brisbane win.
Yep.
Brisbane win this. All right, well, that's our round preview for the round coming up. Big round of football. How long have we been going for?
We've been going for about 45 minutes.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
We going to the pub?
I think we should go to the pub. Listen, enjoy your footy. It's back. I know a lot of you might be playing your practice games or a lot of you will be going to the games this week. Whether you're watching, playing, or just spectating, how good is it to have it back?
Yeah.
How good is it to have it back? I'll see you baggers at the corner hotel. Remember the arse tap gets you a little frothy? If I fill an arse tap?
Yeah. Do you want to can I just, in just caring for your wallet here, it has to be good. Like you have to have gone, that's a bloody good. Like, you know, when you high five and you get that really nice, something like that, because, you know.
I mean, if it is aggressive, I'm going to say no.
Okay.
Like I don't want a big wind up. It has to be like a footy field one.
Yeah.
Like a, hey, how are you?
Just
yeah, I think so. I think it has to be a nice one. I'll be the one dictating
You'll be the judge.
that.
Yep.
Kind of regret this now because my ass can get tapped a lot.
You wanted it.
It is sexual assault. Yeah, keep it in. Nah, keep it. I'm happy with that. That's fine. All right. So I'm going to bounce back this week, everyone. My tips are going to bounce back. If they don't, then I'm just going to go and absolutely fuck myself. And I know nothing about football.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.